fundamentals. Remember, we're breaking down key information or key points about the Web3 space. So what's the blockchain? What is a blockchain? Now, a blockchain is a digital ledger. When I say ledger, what do I mean? A ledger is like a book, like an accounting book, where you keep records of transactions. But now, in the blockchain, in blockchain or in Web3, this ledger now is digital, tracking every transaction that happens across network of computers. Now imagine computers. Just imagine different kind of computers connected to each other, and they're processing transactions. But now these transactions have now been recorded on a kind of digital ledger called the blockchain. I'm going to share my screen briefly to show us like a so I'll share my screen to show us what this looks like. Please do confirm you can see my screen. Confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Oh, okay. So now we're going to look at, I'm going to use this. There are different images on what the blockchain looks like. So let me share the screen now. So let's look at this. So this is how the blockchain works. So a transaction is requested. It could be, because when you come into the Web3 space, one of the things you would own is a wallet. And for you to send and receive money, or in this case now, crypto, when you try to send, it initiates a transaction on the blockchain. Just imagine your bank. You want to send money to another from one OP account to another OP account. So you open up your app and you click, you select the contact and you see the account number, you select the amount. So when you do that, you have initiated a transaction. That's the same thing that happens on the blockchain. When somebody tries to take an action on the blockchain, they initiate a transaction. And when they initiate it, now a block is formed. Now we're looking at how this thing happens digitally. A block is formed. Now this block represents that transaction that is created. This block will now go to every node. Now these nodes are like all the computers in that network. Now what are they going to do? These nodes, these different computers now, they are going to verify that that transaction is valid. Just like when you make a transfer now, you can't make transfer from an empty account, right? Now in the blockchain now, the blockchain will verify whether this thing happens instantly. Just like how we want to make a transfer. If your account balance is less than the amount you want to transfer, it will tell you insufficient amount, right? So it's instant, but we're looking at the process. So the node confirms whether the amount that is in the balance is enough to finish the transaction. And when it confirms it, those nodes receive a reward for confirmations. You see, there's some computers in the world that make money from powering these transactions. And when that is confirmed, that block is added to existing blocks. So the name blockchain, it means a chain of blocks. So when that block is added to the other transaction blocks that have happened before, then transaction is complete. And this thing happens in seconds. It happens in split seconds. So this is how the blockchain functions. Everything that happens on the blockchain, it needs to be verified. to confirm that it's happening and all of that. And then the uniqueness of the blockchain lies in the fact that when a transaction happens, it can be reversed. Unlike how like our bank accounts now, maybe the money is debited mistakenly and the other person is not credited. That money, that transaction can be reversed. But in the blockchain, it can be reversed, which is one of the things that you learn when you're in the Web3 space, is that you must always cross-check any transaction you're doing, so that, because knowing that you can't reverse the transaction, everything is permanent on the blockchain. So that's the definition of what a blockchain is. Um, so now, one of the another powerful part of the blockchain is that whole those nodes, those computers. Now, these computers you're seeing here, they have to agree. If one computer disagrees that the transaction is not an incomplete, that transaction will not go through, right? So this sort of makes it trustless and reliable, because it's not human being that is checking this thing. It's just simply codes that is checking and confirming this thing. So now we have different types of blockchain, right? Because I would like to, we have different types of blockchain. So I'm going to share my screen now, show us something, an image. So let's look at this image. We have public blockchain, private blockchain, consortium blockchain, hybrid blockchain, according to this website. And then we also have side chains. So now, apart from this breakdown of blockchains, right, we also have, right in today's system, we have, okay, let me just explain this. So a public blockchain is for the people and by the people. Sounds like democracy and of the people. So anyone can have access to the internet, and the access to the internet can become an authorized node by signing into the blockchain platform. But a private blockchain is somebody is in charge. It's a person who is in charge there and looks after things and like read and write, and to whom they will give access to. And a consortium means it is semi-decentralized, where a blockchain network is managed by more than one organization. Then hybrid means that you can have a combination of the private and the public. Now, beyond this definition of public, I'm just give us insight into these things, because these are like terminologies in my encounter. In today's Web3, one of the terminologies you're going to see more often is things like layer one, layer two, side chains, layer one, layer two, layer three, I think there's even layer four, side chains. So let me give us an image for that. So let me see. Let me see if I can find, okay, an image to support the explanation. Okay. Okay. So now, so layer one. What is layer one? Layer one is the base blockchain. Like, let me use Ethereum for example. This thing I'm saying might be sounding very strange to you, but let me give you a hack. When you encounter terminologies that are strange and sound like out of this world, use ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to explain to you like you're 7 years old or 5 years old, or in the very simplest way for you to understand. That way, ChatGPT can use I use an analogy, a story to explain it to you. So basically, layer one blockchains, for example, Ethereum, Solana. Now, when Bitcoin was created, people that knew about it were very few. Ethereum too came and became the made it possible for us to have applications that are built on the blockchain. People that knew about it too was very few. But then the more people got to know about these blockchains, right? It became the blockchain became congested, and it became very hard and expensive to confirm transactions. For you to even do a transaction, you pay ridiculous amount of fees, like up to 100,000 naira just to make one transaction. And because of that, they had to decongest the layer one, because at this point now, Ethereum is not a layer one. The Ethereum blockchain is not a layer one. And so now, by creating a layer two, they were able to move things like building of products onto layer two, while security is maintained on layer one. So it's like a bungalow and a duplex. The bungalow, everything is happening that in the bungalow. Everything, people are just flooded the place. Now a bungalow and a duplex will contain more people, more than a bungalow. Let's say if the bungalow is supposed to carry only 10 people, but then there are 20 people in that bungalow. So now you now break down the bungalow, not like you break it down, but remove the roof and add another floor. So it now becomes a duplex, right? So now you cannot have 10 people down, 10 people up. Do you get? Or you cannot have make more room, because there's a way you can expand. There's a way you can expand the up. You can add things like a veranda. You can expand. You can add pillars up to increase the floor. So maybe even the 20% that used to stay down can even stay up and feel more comfortable now, because there's now more room. So that is that need for layer two. So layer two now we can now build more apps without congestions, and it becomes even more affordable. People cannot do transactions that are affordable and all of that. So now each whatever blockchain it is, they have their advantages, they have their trade-offs, like they have things that's working for them. They have areas that they are not so strong at. So there's so many explanations and like terminologies in the blockchain space, where please feel like what they call the blockchain trilemma. The blockchain trilemma means that the blockchain has three challenges that it's dealing with: security, decentralization, and one more thing. So oftentimes, a blockchain might be able to solve two, but not the three of them. So sometimes a blockchain might be very good with security, very good with decentralization, but I think what's the third one again? So let me check. The trilemma. So yes, scalability. Scalability. So what is scalability now? So what is the blockchain trilemma means that it's hard for a blockchain to have all three: security, decentralization, and scalability. What is scalability? Scalability is the ability to be able to accommodate more things as things are being added, as more load added to it. Right. So scalable means maybe now that we are early, we can do some things, we can handle everything. But will be able to handle it when there are more people when more people come on board. So sometimes a blockchain or a crypto product or a Web3 product might be good in two, but not very good in all three of them. For example, Ethereum is good in security and decentralization, but not very good at scalability, because there's too much load on it. That was even the need for layer twos like Base, Optimism, and Arbitrum. So these are different companies that built on Ethereum in order to scale Ethereum. So, like I said, scalability means the ability to expand your capacity when more is added to you. So when I see the likes of Base now, so Base is scalable, and but they're leveraging the security, they're not leveraging the security of Ethereum and handle and decentralization as well. So I know some of what I'm saying might be very confusing, which is why I'm going to give you an assignment after this class. Those of you that are not doing my assignments, you people are looking for my trouble. Are looking for my trouble. And that I don't know if you watched that video, Friday class, because I need you to watch that video so that you can do your assignments as well. Um, so So your assignment will be all these terminologies I mentioned in this video. You have to go back to this, watch this video. All the terminologies now, you use ChatGPT and explain it. Use ChatGPT, explain it, and then write your own version on X. Now, the reason I'm giving you assignment on X is that I'm helping you create content on X. So you can say yesterday, yesterday I learned some basics thing about Web3. I learned about blockchain trilemma. I learned about different kinds of blockchain, and this is how I understand it. Now I'm giving people insight now on how you can write. Don't sound like a guru. Don't sound like you know it all. You can just say, you simply say, um, yesterday. Like I'm assuming now that you're doing this assignment tomorrow, so you can say, yesterday I was in a class and I learned about the blockchain trilemma, and I learned about um, different kinds of blockchain and all these other terminologies. I learned what the blockchain is. Now, this is how I understand it in my own words. Um, Tell me if you can relate. So you now share what you understand by it and yada, on your X account, and if possibly too, you can extend this into your LinkedIn as well. Opportunities are not limited to X. So now, there's another terminology that you need to know in the crypto space, the Web3 space. Is called the consensus mechanism, right? I'm going to quickly show us that the consensus mechanism. So, I'm looking for a better image that would explain this better. So, in English, a consensus means agreement. There are different kinds of consensus mechanisms. So I'm going to share us with this image. Now, this is how will I put it now? How will I explain this now? So a consensus mechanism is basically what enables networks to agree and create an environment where you don't have to rely on trust. You don't have to trust a human being for something to be executed. Because the whole idea of the Web3 space, the crypto space, is trustless. That means it doesn't, human beings now, before you do business with a human being, you have to have a level of trust in what the person is saying or doing or making or creating. But now in the Web3 space, it's trustless. There is no reason to trust anybody because it's all code. So you can't even say a code is lying to you because it's code that automatically verifies stuff. So it makes it reliable, especially the fact that there's a feature of the blockchain called immutability, in the sense that when something is immutable, it means that it cannot be reversed. Like we say now that God is immutable because when God says a thing, it comes to pass. Like when God has said this thing is done, it's done. God doesn't change his mind. So God is immutable. So in the blockchain, is immutable. Anything that is confirmed on the blockchain cannot be reversed ever in this life, which makes it the best technology for industries like education and elections, voting systems where people change results like crazy. Somebody might be winning today and lose tomorrow just because somebody have edited the results in the back end. But with the blockchain powered products, that will become very impossible for that to happen. So in terms of education, where trust is also needed, like for example, now when I wanted to do my first masters, right? Uh, I had to go back to my school to get my transcript. And the journey was not funny. I know how I even entered one chance in that journey, but as God will have it, I was saved. Like God tried to save me and I didn't fall victim of their drama they were doing in the car, but that's by the way. So imagine all the hassles of trying to get my transcript. But now, if just that transcript, my transcript was on the blockchain, I wouldn't have to make that travel, because the reason why people are told to go and get a transcript from their former school is because of tampering the results. They want to believe that the result you have is valid and credible, which is another reason why I like this other place now. I'm doing my second master's. That's Miva University, where I'm doing my. This is not this is an advert. It's not an advert. I'm just sharing. So they didn't. You can, as long as you have your results, you have your degrees, you have all of those, your certificates is complete. Just you can start up your MSc, and you're good to go. You're good to go. So now, because of this lack of trust, or whether something is credible or not credible, valid or not valid, education system needs the blockchain, because when people's results are on the blockchain, nobody on this earth and beyond this earth can tamper with it, because anything that is on the blockchain is forever stamped, sealed on the blockchain. So it can be tampered with. So now we have these are the different agreements. These are the different agreements that happen for this system to occur. We have proof of work, we have proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, all this proof of activity, proof of authority, proof of capacity, like um so this is another explanation on its own, right? I don't know whether I should give this as an assignment. So proof of work, for example, is now Bitcoin. I don't know if any of us have ever heard about mining Bitcoin. So for you to mine, successfully mine a Bitcoin, is a whole lot of explanation though, but for you to mine a Bitcoin, you have to solve your computer, or the computer knows how to solve a complex mathematics, and whichever one that gets it correctly will get what we call a proof of work. Will get Bitcoins as a proof of the work done. So we have proof of stake. So when it comes to proof of stake now, proof of stake means that you are securing the network. Now with proof of work, that's mathematical, whatever, complex things going on. It's what secures the network. Excuse me. But in the area of proof of stake, what secures the network is I know some of you might know what all these things, savings, like when you save your money in bank and it's earning interest for you. Let's say you put your money in a fixed deposit in order for it to accrue interest over time. So now in this scenario now, let's say you have some cryptocurrency, some tokens, and you stake it. When you stake it, you staking it is helping to secure the network, but then you are now earning interest. What I mean by earning interest is you're earning what do they call that? And you're earning extra. Just like when you put your money in bank, you're saving your money, and they say, okay, you'll make 5% at the end of the year. 5% of your money, if you save your money for like 1 year, you can make out 5%. Same way in this scenario now, you lock down your money, and you also earn as well. But you locking down your money helps to secure the network. So we have proof of authority, we have proof of activity. So all these other different proofs, they have like their explanation as well. So now in this scenario now, proof of stake is actually much more when it comes to because this is we're looking at what is more impactful. We're looking at what is more impactful to the atmosphere, green energy, all of those things. So proof of stake is more because it doesn't require you to emit anything that is dangerous to it's not energy intensive, because if you're going to mine Bitcoin, you need those large machines, and the emissions can be very dangerous to our what do they call it again? Atmosphere, the green what do they call it again? What's it even called? Depleting this layer that protects us from the outer like beyond the skies. I'm trying to remember the word. But then green energy and all of that. So, but with proof of stake, because it's not energy intensive, it's doesn't emit anything. It helps to secure. It's people prefer it than proof of work. They will now have other ones. Um, so so the idea of consensus, like I said, is about everybody trusts the same version of that everybody agrees on something. So with proof of work, agreements, so everything about this proof is agreements. Trust me, if anything I would say does not make sense to you, they will make sense eventually as you are in this space and you have to like try to get explanation for the things you're doing. This whole thing will begin to make sense. But trust me, it didn't make sense to me immediately. It takes time of working in the system, learning. The more I wrote, because I was a writer, one of the skills I used in this industry was writing. I did writing and social media management. I did news writing. I did article writing. Just name it. I did marketing. Just name it, right? I did customer support. So in the midst of executing my job, you would have to like find out the meaning of things, and these things began to make more sense. Because sometimes you might hear something the first time, but for it to really make sense to you eventually, you might need to hear it over and over again. Um, so now in the Web3 space, you're going to meet cryptocurrency, right? And like I said, when you hear crypto, you should not talk about trading. Yes, trading is part of it, but that's not what we are doing here. What we are doing here is learning these things that we need, the foundation of things that we need that will help us to do our work better, like when we are hired. So now, when we talk about crypto now, cryptocurrency is divided into two types, what we call fungible and non-fungible. What do I mean by fungible? Fungible means that it's identical. Let me use our Naira, for example. Our Naira is fungible in the sense that you can have a bag of 1,000 Naira notes, all of them looking exactly the same, making it even divisible. So if fungible tokens or fungible cryptocurrencies are identical and interchangeable. So you can give me your 1,000 Naira notes and I'll give you my 1,000 Naira notes, and we will have the exact same thing, exact same value. But non-fungible tokens, they are unique. Each one is unique and they are not interchangeable. You cannot give a typical example is art. Even if you paint an art, like similar art, they will never be the same. Like you make an art work, you make two similar artworks. They might be similar, but they might never look the same. Because when you are creating it, it's hard to make an art that's like you just use the same plates. You know, the way you're making money, you want to print money, there's a plate that they've created that make sure that every single time they want to print money, that same money, the sizes, the everything, the color, the ink, the everything comes out the same. But in non-fungible tokens like arts, for example, art, there's no fixed plate that creates it. Let's say, okay, you can make that same art. You are not, instead of having the same thing, you have variations of the art. So art is a typical example of non-fungible tokens. Same thing with music, right? Music, you can download the music multiple times, but you can't, for you to remake that music, like for it to sound the same way, the same distance, no, it's almost like impossible. You can have a similar sound, similar music. Same thing with like identity as well. Identity, all these things, they are non-fungible. They are not equal to another. They might look similar, but they are different, distinct, and unique. So now, in the Web3 space, tokens are very important. They matter. We have different categories of tokens. You can see them if you go to CoinMarketCap, this is where you can find most of the tokens in the crypto space. Now, what you should know about why do you even need to bother about I'm sharing with you? Because the projects you're going to work with, these are companies. Each of those places, each of those tokens, they are companies. Now, when you hear crypto, you think about some people think about trading. But now, as a career person, as someone that's looking to get a job, you no longer look at this as coins that you need to trade. you now begin to look at them as companies where you can work at, because they actually are companies where people work at. So for these tokens, there are people working here actively building these products. These are products, actively building these products and building a community around them. Like we can see Bitcoin. Bitcoin has its community, Ethereum, XRP, etc. BNB, Solana, USDC, Tron, all these with millions of them. There are over, where is that list? 20 million cryptocurrencies out there. Yeah, it's actually more than this, 20 million cryptocurrencies on over 848 exchanges, worth $3.83 trillion, which is even was more than this a few weeks ago. It's up to $4 trillion. And this is 24 hours volume traded. Dominance, Bitcoin is at this, and this is it's halfway. So these are different companies, different tokens, different cryptocurrencies, and they represent different companies. If you click on them, you'll see a website. There are teams behind them, writing, managing social media, building community, all of those things. So tokens are cryptocurrencies are very important in Web3 because that's how we make payments. That's how we make payments. That's how we incentivize people. That's how governance happens and established. That's why we even execute ownership. For example, non-fungible tokens now is a way for you to prove your ownership because it's unique. So this is my own non-fungible token, my own NFT. It proves that you were on this in this space at this time. It represents you. And we use these non-fungible tokens, the NFTs, in games, for example, where you have to have unique characters. There are games. That's why I told you these tokens represent, some of them represent these companies. We have games. You can work in a game company. I worked in a gaming guild, a company that built a gaming guild, and we had to like we manage gamers, you know, they were playing games to make money. And we still have games like that, games where you have to play games to make money in the Web3 space. Like I said, now these are the different categories in the Web3 space, which is not limited to this. Let me see if I can get there. Categories. So there are different categories of this thing accept. There's even health. There are tokens that power health products. There are tokens that power exercises. I remember that those days when we used to like do work to earn. The more you work, the more you earn some tokens, and you can sell those tokens to make money. So work to earn. So it was incentivizing good habits, like make sure you stay active as a remote person. So yes. So now here's a practical exercise. Like I said, you have to watch this video again. As soon as I upload it, I put it out there. Watch the video again. Note every keyword that I mentioned and do a thread on your X account. Explain it in your own way. So how do you explain it in your own way? You go to ChatGPT. Let me show you how to do that. Let me show you. ChatGPT. So this is ChatGPT. It's ChatGPT. So you that type explain proof of stake consensus mechanism. Consensus mechanism. Like I am a newbie using like a newbie. You can use analogies if possible. Simplify it. So imagine now it's explained to you now. Imagine a lottery, but with money at stake. Let's say you and a bunch of people are part of a digital village where people keep the record of who owes what. See, it's explaining it. So if you don't understand it, you can still ask a question. Now, also now, this the ChatGPT can also help you to study. So you can select study and learn. So I want to learn. I want to learn proof of stake, make it better. So now I'm using. So So let's say what's going to tell me. So I'm using now study. I'm using study now. Let's see if it's going to teach me this. So it said, okay, let's test. So now it's now going to help you to now this study feature now on ChatGPT helps you to study. So it's asking you a question because it has already given you a breakdown of this, of what it looks like, an analogy. So you want to test it to now know what you know. So you can now give it a shot and type. You can use the microphone here. Microphone. If you don't want to type all the long text, use microphone. If I don't want to type, I just simply use microphone and talk into it, and then it transcribes it and send it in. So you can explain and all of that. So if you have any question, ask it now. And so Ada, have you watched the video from Friday? Ada, have you watched the video from Friday? All right. Ask a question. Oh, okay, great. Ada, let's go first. Hmm. Ada, I'm waiting for you. All right, Priscilla, please, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, ma.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my
Is it my
question
network?
is,
Okay. Just read, please.
please, can you hear me?
I can hear you. No.
Okay, can you?
I can
Hello?
hear you. Sorry.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Hello?
It's breaking.
Any improvement?
Hmm? Still breaking. It's still breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it?
Um,
Or is still breaking?
I heard you now.
Okay. So I was saying, on my question is that you made mention of you watching today's video again, and I'm wondering, I thought like for
You.
I thought the site was paid for, something like that. So before I could, some of us could access the site, you have to pay, or it's available to everybody on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Monday classes are okay now. Everything on the website, especially the masterclass, is limited to people that are paid. Now, this live session now, what people don't have access to is this opportunity to ask questions and be in the class live. Do you get? Mondays are free, it's free for everybody. Tuesdays are for strictly, and if you notice, Tuesday topics are mostly towards the career area, though it's still available on the website, on the YouTube, but they don't have access to this mentorship, they don't have access to the course on the website. Does that clarify anything? They can't be in this class here live. Even though I keep the video, they can't be here, they can't ask me questions, they can't have access to the course, the breakdown. The website is a simplified breakdown of whatever it is I'm sharing. So that's the difference.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much,
Yes, there's
man.
still the website that's if you don't, even the website, if you don't pay on the website, you don't want to have access to the course on the website. So
Okay, man.
yeah.
So this implies that this video should be available on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. In the past sessions, right? Monday on is on YouTube. So I saw it's also Friday on YouTube. Those sessions are actually generally free. Monday and Friday free. Tuesday and Wednesday is for. Though today I was supposed to stream this live to more people because this Mondays is basics and it's free for anyone. But I just I've been right now I've been occupied with my exams, so I just need to have this session now this evening. So mm, mm, okay. Any other question? Any other question? Ada, just want to ask a question. I really need you to watch that Friday video, Ada, so you can handle any questions you might have. But notwithstanding though, okay, thank you everybody for coming to today's class. I know today might sound like, oh god, what is she saying? The words might be sounding very, 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 very off, right? But then if you're here to play the long game, to make sense eventually, right? Um, to make sense eventually. So, but you just need this information as your basics. It doesn't. It ties into your skill eventually. Like all I put it now to, like I said in when we started this series last week. If you're going to work in a real estate company, there are terminologies that are there that are familiar to, unique to that industry, and you need to know them. Same for any other industry, gaming industry, football industry, whatever industry that you want to use your skill in. Most of our skills are usable in all those places. They can be a project manager, a writer in any of this industry. So you need to know the basics of those, or the words that are, unique to that industry, which is what we're trying to solve with our Monday classes. So just in case you're wondering why am I learning all these things like this, and they're sounding like off. So I'm expecting our this thing. Don't forget to tag me. Well done, Bright. Your consistency is amazing. I mean, your consistency is amazing. But like I said, you need to also start engaging with other people. I don't know if you started doing that. Right. Start engaging with other writers as well. Have you started doing that? And I noticed you've also improved your
Yes,
content,
please.
like this and everything. So sorry, you want to say something, right?
You asked me a question whether have I started engaging with other writers. I said yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you?
Whether I've started engaging with other writers. I said yes.
I didn't get you, please.
You asked me a question whether have I started engaging